I started filming this video about 6 months ago, so I hadn't decided to film the process until after I'd already cleared out my room. So basically what you see of this empty shell, before it was just a bit cluttered and a bit childish. My main aim for this room makeover was to be as sustainable as possible, so instead of buying things new, try and find things secondhand in charity shops. As well as this being more sustainable, it's a hell of a lot cheaper and it's also way more fun. So this is the dimensions of the room. Now the shape is made a little bit awkward by this section here that juts out from the wall. This, I guess, is what's left of an old fireplace that used to be there when the house was first built. But now all that remains is this ugly grey slab on the floor. And on this side we have a bright pink wall, a decision made by the wise old 13-year-old me. Thanks, gal. Currently my bed sits this way by the window, but I'm planning to swivel that round to give me more floor space and clearer access to the window, which is always nice, but also it gives my rug more attention. This is something in my room I really want to stand out more and not be covered by the bed or distracted by the pink wall. I just freaking love this rug. Anyways, let's get into it. The first thing I wanted to do was get rid of the pink. So I called upon the services of my best friend and together we tackled it. I managed to source some good old white paint from my parents who had loads of leftovers from when they were doing up their bedroom. So that was pretty lucky. And before I knew it, the pink was in the past. I gave the whole room another coat of this shade of white to brighten it all up and keep it consistent. I decided to keep the cupboards where they had been previously and just shifted them back into place, but now with a gorgeous white wall behind them. The next thing I wanted to do was to get a huge floor standing mirror as a feature piece of the room, and I would place it opposite the window so it would bounce light and make the space feel a bit bigger and a bit brighter. I searched for weeks and weeks and weeks to try and source a mirror secondhand, and I could not find one. So this is one thing I did have to buy new, unfortunately, but she's perfect. Next up, I wanted to tackle the curtains, which I've grown to absolutely hate. I know they're not actually that bad, but just seeing them every single day, it's just proved too much. So I decided to climb up my little ladders and just take them right off. I really wanted to replace them with some bright and simple curtains that wouldn't detract any attention away from the rug, which I feel like the previous floral ones did. I found the perfect pair of curtains in a charity shop. They were white and bright with a subtle pattern on them which gave them some depth. They even were the right size for my window. I didn't have to alter them or anything, and I got them for £6. So to put them up, all I did was take the hooks from the old curtains and put them on the new curtains. This was a really tedious and long process, but it was totally worth it to see the floral gone. After that, I just slid them on and they just look beautiful. Next up, I wanted to tackle this section of the room with the awkward chimney breast and the ugly grey slab. So I decided the best way to make this space work would be to restore it as best as I could back into a fireplace. I figured it would not only add character to the room, but it would add coziness and class, it would centre the space, and it would just make this shape make sense since it was always meant to be a fireplace. I wasn't planning on installing a real working fireplace, but just the frame of one, and I was lucky enough to find the perfect frame from a furniture charity shop, and I got it for £5. And again, thank you to my best friend Iona for helping me carry it home. So I started by giving it a good old clean and freshen up. I then realised I'd need to search for any woodworking skills I had within me. I measured the frame against the skirting board on the wall and marked where I'd need to make an incision. Then I borrowed my dad's mini saw and I just sawed away. And until I could have this satisfying moment of placing it so it sat perfectly flush against the wall. To secure it, I made a couple of markings, drilled a pilot hole, hammered in this little nail plug, and then screwed in the nails. And voila! We have ourselves a sexy little fireplace. Now that that was all done, I was ready to roll out my beauty of a carpet. And oh man, the room's starting to come together! I already had a little desk where my giant mirror now sits, so I just used this same desk and slotted it into the little alcove on the left of my fireplace, and it was a perfect fit. For a bedside table, I found this gorgeous little unit with wicker drawers in a charity shop for £10. All I had to do was take it apart, clean it all, put it back together, and place it right next to my bed. As another piece of furniture I really wanted to add to the room, I wanted a sort of classic style armchair. And then I found the perfect chair. This couple were moving house, so they were selling a lot of their furniture, and they posted this armchair online, and I snapped it up. And it's this chair. I am planning on recovering the chair, but I think that's a project for another time and maybe another video. I saw this wall sconce DIY on YouTube a while ago, and I thought it would be the perfect thing to shed light onto my tiny little desk without taking up any of the space that a lamp would. I'll link the real tutorial in the description, but here's quickly what I did. I got a basic wooden shelf wall bracket and painted it white to match the walls. I then drilled 2 holes in the wall, reinforced them with some nail plugs, and screwed the bracket into place. Or should I say my dad did? Thanks Dad for helping me with that one. I then wrapped this extra long wire from where the power socket is all the way up and around the bracket, placing it into a little indent I made in the wood earlier to secure it in place. All that was left was to screw in the bulb, and voila! We have a wall sconce. Look at that absolute beauty of a light fixture. And that's her up there. So I decided to light up my fireplace by putting fairy lights all around it and also all around the inside of it so that it would light up all of the pictures and postcards I was planning to put on the inside. I just used little command strips to put up any of the pictures and things, and I think with the lights and the fireplace frame it worked out really well. I made a little assortment of pieces just below the fireplace on the grey slab, and I think it ended up looking quite nice. So I just continued to dress the room. I added a clock above the fireplace, which the frame matched the frame of the mirror quite nicely. A couple of other things I managed to get from charity shops was a really nice wicker basket that I could put all of my hair things in. And the wicker basket I actually got for free because I was buying other stuff in the charity shop and they were like, well, we'll just throw this in. I also got this really lovely circular mirror with a little box underneath, and I use this to keep all of my earrings in. I don't know, I think it's perfect, and I just popped that above my fireplace as well. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it brings me to a close. All that's left is a final tour of the room. I hope you enjoyed this little room makeover, and I hope that it inspired you maybe to try out some secondhand shops, some charity shops, for the next time that you fancy a little room makeover.